Today we have to listen Upekkhā Bhāvanā. When we practice Upekkhā Bhāvanā, we need to develop Kammasakata Sammaditthi Jnana. Regarding this, we need to explain Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta from Uparipanasa Pali text. In this sutta, in the time of the Buddha, in Savatthi there lived a young lad called Subha. Young lad Subha went to the Buddha and asked him why people are different from each other. Why some have long lives while others have short lives. And also he asked why some people are sickly and prone to disease while others are healthy. Why some people are ugly while others are beautiful. Why some have few friends while others have many friends. Why some people are rich while other people are poor. Why some people are born in favorable circumstances while other people are not born in favorable circumstances. And why some people are born with much intelligence while other people are dull-witted. So he asked these questions to the Buddha. And Buddha answered his question. Kammasaka satta, kamma yoni, kamma bandhu, etc. O young man Subha, beings are owners of their deeds. Beings are heirs of their deeds. Beings have deeds as their parents. Beings have deeds as their kin. Beings have deeds as their refuge. Deeds divide beings in lowliness and excellent. Buddha gave this very short answer, but Subha, the lad, did not understand. So Buddha elaborated upon the law of karma. Some beings like to kill other beings and get in the habit of killing. After death, these people are reborn in 4 lower states, 4 woeful states: animal worlds, hungry ghost world, demon worlds, and hell. But if they are reborn as human beings, their lives are short. Those who do not kill beings, who have compassion for them, may be reborn in the celestial realms, celestial world. If they are reborn as human beings, they have long lives. And regarding the second question, karmic cause of diseasefulness and good health, Buddha said, O Subha the lad, in this world, some person, whether female or male, caused the living beings to suffer by ill-treating them with hands, with stone, with sticks, or with other weapons. Such a person, for having committed that acts of ill treatment, after death, he or she will reach the Upaya realms, or he or she will be reborn in the abode of suffering. If again reborn in the human world, he or she will be deceitful, or he or she will have bad health in whatever existence he or she may happen to become. Buddha said, O Subha, the lad, this bad conduct or this habit of ill-treating the living beings is likely to cause much sickness, or rather be stricken with many kinds of diseases. By ill-treating the living beings to cause injury or harm with hands or stones or sticks or other weapons, he is likely to go down to Upaya, hell, for that evil actions, for that akusala karma. If he were reborn in the human existence, he is likely to be deceitful. It means to say that the bad conduct of ill-treating others will cause to bring much illness, or will cause to bring many diseases. To make it more evident, the story of Pūtigattatissa will be cited. So we go to the story of Pūtigattatissa. In the lifetime of the Buddha, there lived a bhikkhu by the name of Pūtigattatissa. Originally, he was a layman from the city of Savatthi. After entering bhikkhuhood in the realms of Buddha's sasana, he was addressed as Tissa. Later, numerous acne or pimples about the size of a mustard seed appeared on his body. These tumorous pimples gradually became bigger and bigger. From about the size of a mustard seed, these pimples of whites had grown bigger up to the size of bean seed, and then eventually became swollen to reach the size of a big round fruit, about thrice larger than an orange. Then burst. As a result, the whole body of Pūtigattatissa was covered with numerous holes. So he was dubbed Pūtigatta. Pūtigatta means having stinking body, foul smelly, with a foul smell. So he was given the name of Pūtigattatissa. Later, the morbid growth of the tumorous disease had aggravated, and his bones were fractured. There was no one to nurse him. All his robes were badly stained with pus and putrid blood. Even his own disciple had abandoned him, so he became helpless. So Pūtigattatissa had to lie down all the time on his bed. At that time, the Buddha, with his supernatural vision, reflected and observed all over the universe as to who would be deserving of attaining special Dharma, the awakening consciousness. Megapala. In the visions of the Buddha, he found Pūtigattatissa, who would readily attain arhatship. Realizing that there was no one except him who could be relied upon by the Thera. So Buddha made his way to him as if he was making a rounds of inspection of the monasteries. On reaching the place where Pūtigattatissa was residing, Buddha personally lifted up a big empty rice pot, washed it, and then, after putting water into it, placed the pot on the fireplace to boil the water. When the water was about to boil, Buddha, intending to remove the bedstead where Pūtigattatissa was lying, put his hands on the cot. It is extremely wonderful, worthy of reference. If we imagine Buddha's great compassion and pity showered upon the Thera, so in this regard, Buddha also mentioned whosoever would tend to me should tend to the sick monk, Gilanam Bhikkhu. He who attend to me, attend to Gilanam monk. Yo Bhikkhima Upateya so Gilana Upateya. At this juncture, other bhikkhus appear on the sands, and after respectfully entreating the Buddha, "Bhante, please make way. We shall carry the cot where you wish to put." So they lifted the cot and carried it to the kitchen where the fireplace was standing. The Buddha, wishing to give the Thera a hot bath, took the warm water with the cup and then slowly sprinkled it on the body of the Thera. The bhikkhus took off the robes worn by the Thera, washed them with hot water, and then placed them in the sun to dry. Buddha directed that Pūtigattatissa body be properly washed and cleansed with warm water. The bhikkhus, after complying with the direction given by the Buddha, gave the dry robes to the Thera to be wrapped round his waist in place of inner robe. which was taken off and washed. When it had dried, it was again given to be replaced round the waist of the Thera. The outer robe was then removed and wrapped around the upper portion of the body. In those days there was scarcity of robes. There were no spare robes to be worn. How adorable it was. For the eventual attainment of arahantship by the Pūtigattatissa, Buddha has to behave as a male nurse. It is really surprising, highly noble and respectful. Having been properly attended to and nursed by the Buddha himself, Pūtigattatissa got great relief. Then the compassionate Buddha commenced preaching. Achira Vatayankayo Patave Adisisati Jodo Apeta Vinyano Niratanva Kalingaram Bhikkhu Pūtigattatissa, your body will soon surely lie upon the ground. Your body will become a corpse and then will be laid out naked to sleep on the very ground. For having become a dead body without consciousness, and since people concerned have abandoned it as a mean and worthless waste matter, your body will come to rest on the very ground of the cemetery. What it means is, this body is useless. It is like a log, a lifeless and worthless stuff which will lie on the ground, which will fall asleep, which will die. So that means just as rotten and decayed logs will remain on the ground as have been discarded, the material body, being lifeless, will soon be abandoned and left in the graveyard without any clothes on. On those days, it was customary that corpses were thrown away in the graveyard without burying them. After having heard the preaching of the Buddha delivered in the form of a verse, Pūtigattatissa became an arahant. And not long afterwards, Thera entered into Parinibbana. This Pūtigattatissa was a bird hunter during the lifetime of Kassapa Buddha. He collected and piled up the birds caught by him after breaking or splitting up their feet and wings. Only on the next day, he used to sell them out. Some of them were cooked for his own consumption. for having committed these evil acts of unwholesome deeds, akusala karma, his whole body became putrid with the skin disease, which caused tumorous growth of numerous pimples or boils over the entire body. In that very existence, in coming across an arahant who was making a rounds for alms, Pintapata, he made offerings of a vat curry and cooked rice, and then for having prayed to attain Megaphala, he had become an arahant in this existence. The story of Pūtigattatissa had convinced us that ill-treating others would cause deceitfulness, Master Sayādaw had this motto: he who ill-treats others become deceitful if ill-treating is avoided. It will bring good health. The meaning of this has been preached in brief. Then Buddha said, O Subha, a certain person has no intention of causing harm and trouble to all beings. That person, for his good conduct of refraining from ill-treating, or for his conduct of harming the beings, he is likely to lessen the diseases and bring about good health. In this condition, Master Sayādaw have this aphorism, piti bring good health. This expression would convey the sense that if refrain from ill-treating others, it is likely to bring good health. If one has pity on others, he or she will not be inclined to ill-treat them. So he who ill-treats is deceitful, whereas pity brings good health. So a person who ill-treats others will often be afflicted with many kinds of diseases. So it should be noted that those who have caused ill treatment to others will be deceitful. One who is sympathy or pity, refraining from ill-treating others, will have less diseases and will be in robust health. This fact should also be borne in mind. Now we have to proceed to tackle the third question, the answer to which will be rendered quoting a short phrase in Pali. So, karma is cause of ugliness and fair complexion. A person who speaks harshly and behaves badly through an outburst of anger, who does things in great anger, is likely to go down to the apaya, go down to the hell. If he happens to be reborn in the worlds of human beings, he will probably have ugly looks, he will probably have ugly complexion. This statement has been rendered in brief. And Buddha said, Subha the lad, a certain person is full of anger. His habit of flaring up into a rage is likely to bring about ugliness or bad complexion and unpleasant looks. If anger arises, his facial expression and demeanor will immediately change for the worse, and his personal appearance will be ugly. It has been stated that as a custom of this rising anger, he may probably be born ugly throughout the rounds of existences on his becoming a human being. And Mahasi Sierra have this aphorism, flames of anger causes ugliness. If patience can be exercised without yielding to anger in the face of unbearable harsh language or hostile verbal attacks made on him, he or she is likely to reach the worlds of celestial realms. If he or she reached the human existence, it is most likely that he or she will have a very fair complexion, handsome looks, and a good personality. And Buddha said, Subha the lad, a certain person is patient without any feeling of anger. His or her noble conduct of patience with anger is likely to cause his personal appearance to become beautiful and respectful. And the gist of it is expressed in the form of a motto by Mahasi Sayādaw. That is, flames of anger causes ugliness and patience brings beauty. If you desire to have handsome appearance and fair complexion, it is essential to try to practice patient khanti. So we need to explain the patient. Beneficial fruits of patience. Patience or forbearance is basically the dharma contrary to dosa, anger, which in other words is adosa, absence of anger. It is similar to the essence of loving kindness. In special, what is said to have patience is to be able to endure any kinds of provocation and to remain calm without anger and doing evil. Metta or loving kindness is more significant, far-reaching in meaning than patience. It is the quality of goodwill, rejoicing with other people's happiness. The advantages of patience has been described in Visuddhimagga. Khanti paramanta bodhidekha. That means patience is the highest devotion. It is the noblest and noblest practice of virtue. and Kantivalam Balanikam. It means that since patient has its own strength, it should be understood as preached by the Buddha that the beneficial fruits of patience, by symbolizing the attributes of a noble person, is called Brahmana. Brahmana have the force of strength of patience. What is actually meant by the Dhamma is that the strength of patience capable of preventing anger resemble a force of army which is able to defeat the enemy. So Buddha has preached that a person who is equipped with the strength of patience is a Brahmana. A person who is equipped with the strength of patience is a noble one. Sadatta parama atta kandya beyona vijjati. The gist of this Pali phrase is that of all the advantages, his own benefits is the noblest. Among the best advantages, nothing excels the beneficial results of forbearance or endurance. The advantages of patience should be realized as had been stated by the kings of Devas cited above. As stated in the foregoing teaching, patience is the noblest and patience is the best practice. It is most noble and admirable because one who has patience will be able to tolerate all criticism. He or she will be able to tolerate all irritating remarks which would ordinarily incite refutation. And by virtue of these noble attributes, he will earn respect from other people. He will also receive help and assistance when occasion arises and can bring about closer intimacy between himself and other friends. Nobody would hate you. These advantages or benefits are quite conspicuous. If retaliation is made against any verbal attacks, hot controversy will ensue between the two parties and quarrel will break out. Feeling of hatred and animosity will creep in and the parties may become unfriendly to one another with malice and also become enemies for life. If no tolerance or patience is practiced, one will be inclined to cause harm to another throughout the entire lifetime. If, however, patience is cherished, it would bring about a wealth of advantages. This can be clearly known by retrospection. So Buddha had prescribed in the form of Patimokkha the code of conduct for monks. It has been preached as Kanti Paraman Tapoti Tekha Nibbana Paraman Vadanti Buddha, etc. So Nibbana, the most noble and virtuous, it was preached as such by the Buddha simply because all practices for the derivation of merits can be carried out successfully only if there is patience. Dana, charity, when donation is offered on a magnificent scale, with the greatest generosity, it shall be performed with great patience. When you practice sila, moral precepts, spirit of tolerance required to be born, by the person becomes more prominent. When you practice meditation, it becomes predominant. All bodily suffering and miserable condition, we have to be tolerated, and only by contemplating and noting with patience, concentration and wisdom can be gained, vipassana knowledge can be developed. If changes in the bodily postures are frequently made on account of minor discomfort, such as stiffness, hotness and pain, it will be difficult to increase your own power of concentration. This will make it harder to achieve vipassana insight knowledge. Only when you contemplate and note with patience and endurance, you can attain jhana samadhi. Then only special knowledge of vipassana or the higher awakening consciousness of Dhamma along with Meghaphala Jnana, knowledge of the path and fruition, can be realized. So it is stated that patience is the noblest, patience is the highest practice. And a wise old saying, patience leads to Nibbana, is most appropriate. In practicing for the fulfillment of 10 forms of parami, dana parami, sila parami, nikkama parami, etc., it can be fully achieved if patience is applied. Among these paramis, Daiṭṭhana parami, determination, Viriya parami, exertion, Piññā parami, knowledge, are proximate to the attainment of Nibbana. Only if continuous and persistent effort is made as originally intended to reach Nibbana with a firm determination, your vipassana knowledge and Ariya Megha Jnana will be fully accomplished. If so diligently practiced with patience, arhatship will be attained. Such an arhat is said to be noble Brahmana, who is fully endowed with the strength of patience. That is what Buddha has said. It is indeed a noble practice which can lead to Nibbana, cessation of all suffering. So in this Sulakama Viveka Sutta, today we finish the 3 question and answer. The first question and answer is: killing results in shortness of life, while longevity comes from lack of strife. So Rudy, can you follow me? Killing results in shortness of life. Killing results in shortness of life, while longevity comes from lack of strife. While longevity comes from lack of strife. So this is first question, answer, and second answer is: torture leads to suffering and pain. Torture leads to suffering and pain. While good health from empathy is gained. While good health from empathy is gained. So this is second answer by the Buddha. And third question answer: ugliness from fiery anger spring. Ugliness from fiery anger spring. While patience shining beauty bring. While patience shining beauty bring. So if you abstain from killing, you have longevity, you have long life. And if you abstain from torture, if you have compassion, you will have good health. And also if you not angry, and if you be patient, you will be beautiful, etc. So today we have to stop our discourse for today. We continue next week. Now it is time to practice meditation. So keep your upper body straight. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out steadily. Sato Sambhajano Vihariya. That means yogi should dwell mindfully and fully comprehending. Inspire yourself by reflecting. Now I'm going to practice vipassana meditation that can lead me to be free from all suffering. Just be relaxed. Breathe normally. Keep your mind on the abdomen. When you breathe in, the abdomen rises. And be mindful of the rising movement from the beginning to the end. Pay close attention so that you are fully aware of the movement. When you breathe out, the abdomen falls, and be mindful of the falling movement from the beginning to the end. You may mentally note rising when the abdomen is rising and falling when it is falling. Try to capture the true phenomena. But if making mental notes interfere with your practice, you don't have to make them. Just be mindful of the rising and falling movements of the abdomen. You may feel tension, pressure in the abdomen. You may concentrate on it. The emphasis is to be mindful of the movements rather than abdomen's shape or form. If your mind can remain on the rise and fall of the abdomen, it would be very good. But mind has a tendency to wander quite often, so when you are keeping your mind on the abdomen, be mindful when it wanders. Do not blame yourself or do not feel guilty, just be mindful of its wandering. When you note properly, wandering might disappear and go back to the rise and fall of the abdomen. We call the movements of the abdomen home objects or primary objects because we always go back to them after paying attention to any other objects that becomes prominent at the present moment. If you see something, be mindful of seeing and make mental notes of seeing. If you know properly the objects disappear, then go back to the home objects. If you hear something, notice hearing. It is very clear that as soon as you know the noise disappear, then go back to your home object. Do not let the past come back to you. And do not long for the future, and also do not cling the present. Do not go to the past, but if you remember something from the past, be mindful of remembering. Remembering the past is present, so note the remembering. Don't long for the future, but if you think of the future, be mindful of thinking of the future. And also present, do not cling. When you practice meditation, try to be in the present moment, try to live in the present moment, and try to be mindful of the object that is prominent at the present moment. So all mental units have to be observed. Noting all the acts of consciousness is called Caittanupassana. Because we fail to note the acts of consciousness, we tend to identify them with the person or individual. We tend to think that it is I who is imagining, thinking, planning, and knowing. So note properly. So we have to note each and every act of consciousness as it arises. When so noted, it tends to disappear, then come back to rising and falling of the abdomen. And when sensation of stiffness and heat will arise in your body, these sensations are to be noted carefully. The identification of these sensations with the ego is mistaken. There is really no I involved, only a succession of one new sensation after another. So note carefully the sensation.